on your notebook, you can go to the next blank page. Go ahead and draw, using our base 10 pieces, the number 212. We are using base 10 drawings, not pieces today, and we're drawing the number 212. Just a reminder, our hundreds flat, our tens rods, or you can make it just a stick, and then our bits. Just in case you needed a reminder on what any of those base 10 drawings would look like. Yes. Oh, you're going to draw it. Just give me a second, okay? When you've got it drawn in your notebook using those base 10 pieces, give me a secret thumb, please. All right, Bladen, describe to me what you drew.
I drew 2 100s.
2 100s.
And then I did 12 ones.
Ooh. Can you explain to me why you drew 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ones?
Well, because I was going to draw a 10, but then I made them all into ones, and I wouldn't do the line thing. I put little crosses through the ones.
Love it.
And they're literally just the same thing, so why does it matter?
Yep. I'm a fan. Did anyone else draw 12 ones? So what did you draw? We didn't draw 12 ones like Bladen, which is fine. Completely fine. So Harper, what did you draw?
I drew 200.
200.
110. And then 2 ones.
And then 2 ones. Anyone else draw that?
I did.
Okay. How many hundreds are in 212? How many hundreds are in 212? When? 200s. How many tens? There we are. How many tens are in 212? Lincoln?
21.
There is 21 tens. Lincoln, can you tell me how you figured out that there was 21 tens?
Each 100 has 10 tens.
Uh-huh.
And there's one right here, so 2 plus 2, 4, 6, 10 plus 10 equals 20, and plus that 110 right there equals 20.
I love that. Lincoln said, hey, I know that inside those hundreds is 10 tens. I have 2 of them. That's going to give me 20. Didn't? Are you ready for the next one of how many ones? How many ones? Nope. There's not 2.
12?
There's not 12. How many ones is in this number?
1.
Michael?
212.
There's 212 ones. We group them so it doesn't look like 212 ones, but that's how many ones there are.
Is that why everything is this one? That you told me.
That makes sense, Dennis? Yeah. If I broke apart those hundreds, I could break them into ones, right? Yeah. All right, let's try another one. You can draw a line under your paper. Here's our next number that we're building. Put this away. Get your math pen. We got the number 783. We are building it using our base 10 pictures, base 10 drawing. You can build it however you would like to build it. If you're ready, give me that secret thumb. right, let's knock out some base 10 drawings. Go for it, Devin. 700s. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, that was a weird square. 5, 6, 7. Awesome. Good. 8 tens. And 3 ones. Now I'm saying hundreds, tens, and ones, but I know that ones are in tens, right? I need some ones to make it 10. And ones are in hundreds. They're just grouped already in a hundred. It's kind of like donuts, right? I might say I want a dozen, but I still need individual donuts to make up that dozen. Does that make sense? Okay, kind of. All right, same questions. You know what I'm going to ask. How many hundreds are in 783? How many hundreds are in 783? Elena? 7. How many tens? Wherever my question is. There it is. How many tens are in 783? Shelby? 78. How many ones are in 783? Harper? 783. Are you noticing a pattern?
Yeah.
I want you to look at those questions and look at the answers. Are you noticing a pattern? Very interesting. John, are you noticing a pattern?
Yeah, one number is being added each question.
Yeah, it looks like we're adding a place value every single time.
I did 5. I drew
So we're not talking about what you drew, we're talking about the pattern. It's going to relate to the pattern? Okay. Lena, what are you noticing about this pattern?
It's either we're adding a place value or like 700, and then you're just adding a whole number. It's like the one that equals more is less numbers, and then it goes lower, and then adds more numbers.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Deborah, what are you noticing? Yes, this is not just 7. This is 700s. What is that equal to? It's the value of 700s. 7? 7 what? $7? 700s equals 7,000? No. It equals 700. What about 78 tens? Because that's what that is. 78 tens. What is 78 tens worth? What is 78 tens worth? I need less thoughts on that, please. Shelby? 780. Right? And then we had those 3 left over, but we couldn't make a whole 3, so we only have 780 tens. So far, so good? All right, so we're going to look at some of the strategies that we've learned about subtraction, but before we do that, I want to review what is subtraction. What does that mean? Let's go ahead, either on the bottom of your page or on the next blank page. I want you to write those 2 questions as the title. What is subtraction and what is the difference? What is subtraction and what is the difference? All right, let's start with subtraction. What does that mean? What is subtraction? This is why we do this question over and over again, because I don't see many hands. What is subtraction? Well, what is subtraction?
When when you take away a number from the whole.
Okay. Oh, I love that. Subtraction. When you take away a number, and I really like this piece, from the whole. When you take away a number from the whole. When we subtract something, we start with all the things. All the pencils are on my desk before I start taking them away. All the puppies are running around the room before I start subtracting them to homes. I have to start with the whole thing, whatever the things are, right, Gwen? Before I can start subtracting to give them away or taking them away. Layden?
It's kind of like you can't do subtraction. So say Jacob has like 20 and.
So when we're thinking about difference, and we'll say it is the answer to a subtraction problem, but then it's a little bit more. It's not the total. Devin? What? Yeah, that's what we're talking about, difference. Yep, what is the difference? Nope. Nope. Look at your number line. That's why we do the number line strategy, so we can really see what is happening. Ella? Uh-huh. It's the distance between the numbers. The difference is the distance between the numbers, because that's what we're measuring in subtraction. When we subtracted for number talk, this piece right here is our distance between those two numbers, our difference. The distance between two numbers. Yes, think about your number line.
Are you talking about distance? Like, don't get my bubble.
No, I'm talking about how far away things are on a number line. Go over any strategy we already know. You are not writing this down, I'm just making a list of what we know. Are you with us? Show me with your actions. Devin, what is one way that we know how to subtract? We know how to use a number line. And we know how to use a number line two ways.
Are we writing this?
I've said that 3 times. We are not writing this down. Right? We can go forwards.
And we can add.
That's called add to subtract. Yep. Or I can go backwards. So on my number line, I can either count backwards, or I can do what is called add to subtract, which is where I go forwards. Are there any other strategies I know? So part whole helps us make an equation, but it's not a strategy to solve that. It just helps me know, oh, I'm going to subtract. Does that make sense? Sean? Add to subtract. Yep, going forward. Very good. Layden?
I think this is only adding array. No.
I mean, you could use like a visual model, right? Like when you were in first grade, you could have put out 10 counters and literally taken 3 away. So you could do something like that. I saw some of you on your pre-test use some base 10 drawings. So you might have said, I've got 132, and I need to subtract 21. So you crossed out this, crossed out this, crossed out this, and you were left with 111. Have you learned that before?
Yeah.
Some of you did that on your pre-test, which is why we're not talking about it, because I think a lot of you know what that looks like. Which is okay if you're not sure. Gwen?
Break apart a friendly number.
Yeah, we can use some friendly numbers. We can use some friendly numbers. That'll totally work. Alright, this part we are going to write down. The new strategy that we're using is not my favorite, only because I don't get to see what's actually happening with the numbers. Now, some third graders think this is easy, and it is easy to do. It's just like a routine. However, it's hard to see what is actually happening with the numbers, which is why I'm a big fan of number lines. But go ahead, we are writing this page down, title it Expanded Form Subtraction, and then write this equation down, please.
Can we do it?
Yes. Give me a Matthew signal if you've seen an equation stacked like this.
I usually do it.
That's fine. The reason why is there is an algorithm, a routine, that many adults use, and in order to do that routine, it has to be stacked like that. So sometimes we might see it stacked, and it's arranged by place values. So what that means is my ones are right on top of my ones, my tens are right on top of my tens, my hundreds are right on top of my hundreds. No. Because lots of people don't know math. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to expand this out. So go ahead and draw 2 arrows next to each of those numbers. And we're going to expand it by place value. Now it's really important that we continue. Gwen, please stop drawing pictures. It is really important that we line up our hundreds above our hundreds, our tens above our tens, and our ones above our ones. So we're going to go ahead and do 368. I know you already know how to do expanded form. I don't think I need to stop and go over that. I put the little pluses in between because when I smush that number back together, what I'm doing is adding. Even though I'm subtracting, I'm still putting pluses because this number is 300 plus 60 plus 8.
I didn't know what the other one was.
Alright, and then you're also going to you're going to expand that other number. Notice I am perfectly lining up my hundreds over top of my hundreds, my tens over top of my tens, and then my ones over top of my ones. Which of those numbers is my whole? Go back to part, whole. Which one of those numbers is my whole, Ashlyn? 368 is my whole. 100%. So let's start with my ones. 8 tens subtract 4 tens. How many tens is that? Sean, thanks for raising your hand. I said 10. 8 ones minus 4 ones gives us 4 ones. Very good. I'm going to drop my plus down because when I am subtracting an expanded form, my number is going to come out in expanded form and I'm going to need to switch it back together. Moving on to my tens, I have 60. Subtract 20. What number is that going to be? 7? 40. Then I have 300. Subtract 100. I gathered. Elena? 200. And then I need to put it back into what is called standard form. So we've stretched it all out to see what's inside that number. Now we're going to switch it back to the way that we're used to reading numbers. What is that number put back into standard form, Michael?
244.
244. Very good. All right, we're going to do one more problem together. this problem reads, the zoo has many different species of animals. It has blank birds and blank big cats. How many more birds does the zoo have than big cats? What's going on in this problem? What do you notice? What do you wonder? What's going on in this problem? What do we notice? What do we wonder? Ashlyn?
I wonder how many birds and how
Yeah, we don't know how many birds or big cats. Do you know which one might have more or less?
the birds.
How do you know that?
How many more birds does the zoo have than big cats?
Yeah, so we know that we are going to have more birds than big cats. We don't know how much more, but we know that there's going to be more. Sean, what do you notice? What do you wonder? Yeah, I'm wondering how many species of animals does this zoo have? Maybe it's a big zoo.
It's a small zoo.
Maybe it's a small zoo. We're not sure. Well, what are you noticing? What are you wondering?
Where's the zoo?
Where is this zoo?
Zoo.
Zoo. What is this problem having us count? What is this problem having us count, Harper? It is not counting animals. It's a little more specific. So let's look at that question again. It says, how many more birds does the zoo have than big cats? I am not counting the number of big cats. I'm not counting the number of birds. This is
Counting both.
I am counting both.
You're counting both to see which one has more.
There we go. Yes. That was really tricky. Way to stick with that one, Harper. I am going to count both birds and big cats because I need to know which one has more and how many more. Let's go ahead and write an answer sentence. How many more birds does the zoo have than big cats? The zoo has blank more birds than big cats. The zoo has blank more birds than big cats. I'm not sure. That could have been a good wonder if you raised your hand during that time. So just to recap, we figured out that we needed that missing number. Michael gave us an add to subtract. We had that 104 plus something to get to 469. Devin gave us our subtraction problem, which is our whole 469 minus 104. Now we're practicing expanded form.